Welcome back, everyone. Before we go out to the street, we're going to read a little bit out of Serpent in the Sky by John Anthony West, The High Wisdom of Ancient Egypt. And I reference this book a lot, so I figured it would be cool for you guys to actually see it. You may know his work from the Sphinx water erosion theory. He was one of the people behind that in the 90s. So, on page, what is this? Page 55, we're going to read about two symbols. On the left is the tetractys. On the right is a pentactys. Pen being 5 at the base, tetra being 4 at the base, like tetragrammaton. So, below it says, the tetractys, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. The tetractys, regarded as sacred by the Pythagoreans, contains within itself the keys to harmony, which in turn govern creation. 4 to the 3 is the fourth, 3 to the 2 is the fifth, 2 to the 1 is the octave, and the double octave in quadruple is 4 to 1. So you can see here you have all those relationships expressed in this pyramidal form, right? This is a great example as to why Freemasons are so in love with the pyramid. Though the tetractys as a symbol seems peculiar to the Pythagoreans, the same number symbolism is widespread. Hindu mythology speaks of the 9 cobras of Brahma, a parallel to the grand Ennead arranged around Atum. Atum's the sun god of Egypt, or the creator god of Egypt. The Kabbalah refers to the 9 legions of angels about the throne of the hidden God, he whose name is hidden. The tetractys represents metaphysical reality, Plato's ideal world, complete within the framework of a 4-term system. Creation requires 5 terms. The pentactys represents the manifested tetractys. So the one on the left represents creation through sound. You know, what do we talk about on this channel? The keys of Solomon, the lesser key of Solomon, and we talk about, you know, the Bible being literal and God speaking creation, sonoluminescence, cymatics, talk about all that stuff. So here you can see that even, as you're going to see in a minute outside, 200-year-old buildings, this is the secret knowledge of the ages. So here's the pentactys, and you can see it's, you know, Masonic, all-seeing eye pyramid inside of a pyramid. Let's read about it. The inner triangle is a symbol of the triune nature, immanent in unity. It represents the first form. Form requires a 3-term system. Form is the result of the interaction between positive and negative poles. Let's stop there for a second. So, of course, we have a trinity in Christianity, a literal trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? They have one too. It's called Isis, Horus, and Set, the gods of ancient Egypt. This is what the Jesuits are actually representing with the IHS symbol. And we have Catholic churches here in Portland with that symbol on them. And just like the fleur-de-lis, right? The French aristocracy, you have 1, 2, 3. You have 2 flowers and then the central one poking up. Let's continue. And then he said, form is the result of the interaction between positive and negative poles. Great example would be sonoluminescence. You run the right frequency through a glass of water and a ball of light is created in the center. The water is 1, the sound is 2, and the creation is 3. Or the form, I should say, not creation. It's just matter changing form. The pentactys depicts principal form surrounded by 12 houses, which are the animators of form. This understanding is also common to many ancient civilizations. The Egyptian physiological system is based upon it. These canals, by cosmic flux and reflux, this is a quote, conduct the red and white solar energy to the areas where the 12 powers lie sleeping within the organs of the body. Red and white, Templar, Swiss color. Once every 2 hours of the night and day, each is activated by the passage of Ra, the sun of the blood, and it then returns to sleep. Chinese acupuncture is based upon the 12 meridians of the body. Every 2 hours, one or the other of these meridians reaches peak activity. The 12 houses of the astrological zodiac express the same understanding in another way. The houses derive their meaning from the interplay of number. They determine the nature of time, personality, or event. That last part about the zodiac, the Bible tells you that what the luminaries are for. For feast days, for calendars. They are not for predicting the future, changing the circumstances of your reality. Like they want you to believe in works like this. Don't get me wrong, John Anthony West, cool guy. I don't know of anything bad he ever did, but this is dangerous metaphysical stuff. So on the next page, let me show you this real quick. This is called the Enneagram 9. Enneagram 9. If you Google I think it's San Jacinto obelisk, the tallest obelisk in the world, I believe, taller than the Washington Monument. I believe it has an Enneagram at the top of it, right? A three-dimensional Enneagram. The symbol's also used in the Ordo Templi Orientis, the religion of Thelema, created by Aleister Crowley. Now at the top here, what we have is a tetractys, but instead of dots, it's represented by the original pantheon of ancient Egypt, right? See the triangle there? There's also the dry, the moist, the earth, the sky. We've got those four aspects, and then the names of the gods are Tum, Tefnut, Nut, Nephthys, Set, Isis, Osiris, Geb, Shu, then with I in the middle. So, application or materialization of the four principles. Osiris equals incarnation and reincarnation, life, death, renewal. Isis is the feminine aspect of Osiris. Set is the principle of opposition, antagonism. Set, Satan, Satan. Nephthys is the feminine aspect of Set. The tetractys may be seen as the Egyptian Grand Ennead made manifest and demythologized. This is not necessarily an improvement, but it is one means of catching a glimpse of the many meanings behind the Ennead. Another is the extraordinary symbol, the Enneagram, that Gurdjieff claimed to have rediscovered from an ancient source. Whereas a tetractys shows the Grand Ennead made manifest, the Enneagram shows it in action as 7, the octave number of growth and process. Interpenetrating 3, the basic triune nature of unity. Correspondences between Gurdjieff's work and Schwaller de Lubitsch are striking, though neither knew the work of the other. So as you're about to see outside, not just bricks. Not just bricks on a house. Deep, deep meaning. And we're going to tie this back to the Swiss Nazi Templars, who ultimately carry all of these traditions in Switzerland. Get a good look. So we just read about the tetractys and the pentractys, and now I'm here in Portland. Car's about to hit me. And we're looking at what's called simply the Victorian Mansion. I think that's what people call it. Absolutely massive. And I'm going to show you a couple of symbols. I'm going to show you a house nearby. I'm going to relate the two together, tied to the modern day, and it's going to blow your mind. So there it is. Very big. Beautiful. Let this car go by. First thing I'm going to show you is a symbol you're probably familiar with, because it's used all the time. You see these 4 circles? That's actually a way of drawing a Templar's cross, right? Now I want you to notice that those 4 symbols circles are inside of an octagon, right? Which can be created with a Swiss cross. So you have a Templar cross inside an octagon. Think of a stop sign. You see the stop sign symbol with 4 circles? Now, let me pull out my phone real quick. I'll actually show you a photo of that. It's gonna be hard. Let me get get in the shade here. There you go. So you can see 4 circles create a Templar's cross. There you go. These are all the official renditions of Templar's crosses. So when you see the 4 circles inside old architecture, you're looking at an initiated architect or an initiated homeowner. Let's keep going around. The front's pretty beautiful. This is called the West End in Portland. Of course, obelisk. Always an obelisk. Take you around to the front here. And wait until the end of all this video. Your mind is going to explode. Mine did. Takes a lot to make mine explode. Here's the front of it. You can see at the very top, Fleur de Lis, Isis Horus Set. Alright. Aristocracy. Very Masonic doorway. 3 pyramids. We just read about that. Now, what I want you to notice, I'm going to have to back up, so let me go across the street. A very important, subtle symbol that you'll find all over Portland. Not this, but hold on. Sun hieroglyph. This is literally the same stuff you see in Switzerland. Anyway, the important thing on this mansion, let me give you a better shot. Get the whole thing in. Pharaoh's castle. And then at the peak of these 2 windows is, there it is, the Swiss cross. Swiss cross inside of the 3. Isis, Horus, Set. And there's a Swiss cross at the peak of each of those windows. And wait until you see the building down the street, which ties this all together. So we got Swissy building castles in New England. And if you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, based on the architecture alone, this place was founded by Masons, Templars, and the Swiss. And the history they tell us is a complete lie. A couple of houses up, I'm going to show you some more of what we've been talking about. Octagon. Portland is one of the oldest, I guess you would say, commercial hubs in North America, according to their history. They came here, I think, in the 1620s, got defeated by the natives, went a little bit north to Freeport. I think that's how it goes. And then eventually came back and took the peninsula. Alright, so now we're up the street a little bit, and I've showed you this before, but I didn't read the plaque on the house, the historical plaque. So we come over here. Same Swiss cross, right? Find it all over Portland. Swiss cross inside of the triangle, of course. Masons. Now it gets even crazier, because like we were just reading in John Anthony West's book, at the very peak of this house is a pentactus. Or pentactus, I'm sorry, there's no R there. A symbol understood by all ancient civilizations to be an esoteric symbol. Has relations to the zodiac and the 12 houses of the sun. Has relation to the Enneagram of ancient Egypt. Remember, the tetractys represented sound and its role in creation. And the pentractys represents the tetractys made manifest. Creation made manifest. So we got a Swiss cross, and then we got a pentractys on the peak.
I wanted to say hi, but...
Oh, you can say hi, it's okay.
Are you our neighbor?
Yeah, I live down at 20. I do architecture stuff, and I put it on YouTube. So I'm talking about the symbols. That's called a pentractys. Look at the peak when you get home.
Well, no, we do.
Nice.
We have this one.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it really is.
Ah.
Open the front door, you'll see the stained glass. No, you won't. Yes, you will.
That's awesome. Thank you.
John Calvin Stevens.
Really? The architect?
Yeah. You can tell them all over the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, I've walked around so many times. You guys are awesome.
No,
I'm Jay, by the way.
What's your name?
Jay.
And we're Marsha and Rob.
Marsha and Rob, I'll see you around.
See ya.
Take care, guys. How cool is that? So yeah, this is their house. Octagon. Just like a Templar's commandery. So yeah, even they know what's up. They know that this city was built by Swiss Nazi Templars. Maybe they don't know the Nazi part, but Frank Strouthouse, that's that kind couple. And they were talking about, oh yeah, she said I couldn't see the stained glass, but even this right here is the oval, the womb, right? And it's got 4 points at each of the ends, which is just like a cross. What a beautiful home. Anyway, back to this building. So you saw the Swiss cross on the mansion down the street. You saw the Pentactus up here. Pentactus, sorry. And then you saw the Swiss cross on the right. Of course, it's got 2 octagon towers. Now hold up, here's the kicker. Come over here. Whose building is this? Portland Savings Bank, Thomas Street, Block 1, 1886. Portland Savings Bank. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, the center of Portland and all of its grand, ornate, pharaonic architecture, all the biggest buildings were built by Portland Savings Bank. In fact, the 2 most prominent ones downtown are Portland Savings Bank buildings. They're huge. Watch parts 1 and 2. Now, what connects this all together? So, this must have been a Portland Savings Bank, I don't know, branch out here. And this house in front of us, the mansion, I think, belonged to whoever owned the bank. Both houses have a Swiss cross. Both houses have Templar architecture. And let me reinforce this a little bit with some modern information. The address 1 city center, so literally the center of our city, is the United Bank of Switzerland. I kid you not. Let me, you can see it in parts 1 and 2, but here's their logo. Hold on. There it is. Yeah, the most, number 1, the center of the city. And this is the Bank of Switzerland, right? And then I want to show you one more thing. Here is one of the most prominent banks in the area, Key Bank. And what do you see in the key? You see the fence that you just saw on the Pharaoh's mansion, the 4 circles making the Templar's cross. Which I'll show you one more time. 4 circles, Templar's cross. So what ties all this together? If this is the house of the people who built Portland Savings Bank, which basically financed the creation of this entire city, financed the Civil War, all sorts of evil international trade. If this is their house with the Swiss cross on it, and there's a Swiss cross on the branch right down the street, what does that tell you? It tells you that Swissy was behind Portland Savings Bank. It tells you that Switzerland and its banking elite and its global elite are the ones who settled Portland, Maine. Maybe not settled, but they're the ones who built all of this you see. All of this Freemasonic, Knights Templar, mystery religion architecture. And now, to tie it to the modern day, think about it. The financial heart of the city, literally I don't even know what organ I would relate it to. It's the foundation stone of the whole city is the UBS Bank at 1 city center. Bank of Switzerland, right? So it makes you wonder, was Portland Savings Bank just a creation of them from the past? And of course we know, because UBS is here, that they're still in control. So Swiss bankers came here in the beginning and have gone nowhere. And then notice the logo for the Bank of Switzerland is red and white. The logo for Key Bank is red and white. What did we read in John Anthony West's book? You're talking about the fluxing of red and white solar energy. Crazy occult esoteric knowledge, which we won't go into detail here now, but Anthony was quoting someone talking about the pentactus, the symbol you just saw on that Swiss bank. Crazy, right? Yeah, their colors are always red and white, just like Switzerland. Those are Pharaoh's colors. Before dynastic Egypt was a thing, there were two kingdoms, upper and lower. One had a red crown, one had a white crown. And they came together to create dynastic Egypt as we know it. And that, my friends, is why they use red and white. Those were the colors of the crowns. And then they use the color blue to symbolize war, the blue crown of war. This is why Western countries have red, white, and blue flags. And this is why Swiss banking organizations always use red and white, just like their flag. What about the black? Black is a Templar color. Templars are black and white. Yeah, so Portland Savings Bank from the 1800s, giant pharaonic mansions, the city's still controlled by Swiss bankers. Everything's a lie. See you guys next time.